Hello, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Business News here on Media Live. My name is Alfred Okanse. Let's go on to our first story. The Bank of Ghana has confirmed it would start inviting bids for the auctioning of the $1.8 billion cocoa syndicated loan to the 30 commercial banks in the country. According to the governor of the central bank, Dr. Abdul Nazir Sayako, allocations will be made to the banks based on the auction system.
The central bank is expected to receive the $1.8 billion cocoa syndicated loan facility in early October, according to the BOG. As part of reforms in the banking sector, commercial banks in the country can bid for allocations from the syndicated loan. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Abdul Nasiru Ishaku, said the Apex Bank has been taking delivery of such huge inflows over the years because the current market lacks the capacity to absorb the funds.
The funds would still come to the central bank, and we've developed a rule-based, market-driven auction system where banks would approach the central bank with a demand for forex, and then allocation would be made based on this rule-based, market-driven auction framework.
The Ghanaian banking industry recorded negative 5.4% growth in 2015 and has further recorded a negative 1% growth in the first quarter of 2016. Several banks are currently in distress due to high non-performing loans and their exposure to energy sector debts. According to Dr. Abdul Nasiru Ishaku, the steps being taken by the central bank would help develop the capacity of the banking sector and shield it from the current challenges.
Then over time, as the market deepens, then the funds can now go straight to the banks. They would have developed the capability to absorb that much funds directly to the market.
Cocoa Board is entitled to an extra $200 million from the syndicated banks if the cocoa crop performs better and requires further funds under the finalized agreement.
All right, so Ghana's year-on-year gross domestic product, GDP, for the second quarter of this year stood at 2.5% as compared to 3.5% recorded for the same period last year. Now, the Ghana Statistical Service blames the slower pace in growth on the decline in the manufacturing sector as well as mining and quarrying sectors.
The gross domestic product, GDP, is one of the primary indicators used to gauge the health of a country's economy. It is a monetary measure of the market value of all final goods and services produced in a period mainly quarterly or yearly. Ghana's GDP in monetary terms for the second quarter of the year was in excess of 38.16 billion cedis as against 32.28 billion cedis in 2015. At the release of the GDP figures in Accra, government statistician Dr. Philomena Nyako stated that the economy is growing, but at a slower pace compared to the previous year.
It's mainly the manufacturing sector. The growth within the mining and quarrying subsector fell by 29%, and this is attributed to the fall in the production of oil and gas by 49%. That the FPSO was shut down, contributing to the fall in the gas and oil subsector, which is accounting for this slower pace of growth.
In 2015, agriculture added 28 billion cedis to GDP, translating into 20.2%. However, in 2016, agriculture contributed 4.2 billion cedis to GDP, representing 12%. In 2015, industry contributed 34.1 billion cedis to GDP, representing 26.6%. as against 9.2 billion cedis to GDP in 2016, representing 26.2%. In 2015, the service sector put in 68.5 billion cedis to GDP, representing 53.2%. However, the service sector was 21.9 billion cedis in 2016, representing 61.8%. At the mid-year budget review, the Finance Minister, Seth Tekpe, scaled down the GDP growth target to 4.1% from 5.4%. But is the country on course to achieve that target?
It all depends on policies and the activities within the country, the economic activities. If policies are put in place to improve productive activities, then we will expect a rise. But if certain factors come in that will limit the production of goods and services within the country, then of course we will expect a drop in the growth rate.
All right, so groundnut farmers in the northern region are appealing to or for construction of drying facilities in major groundnut and bean farming communities. This, they say, will help to reduce post-harvest losses.
Of the northern region are known for the large-scale production of grains, cereals and legumes. However, the rains came late this year, affecting the agriculture calendar for the production of some crops in the region. Some farmers abandoned farming this year, while others changed over to fast-yielding and water-resistant crops, but that has not helped. Groundnuts and other crops, which should have been harvested in August, are still on the farms. Their problem is compounded by regular rainfall. In some communities, rice fields are inundated by water. Some groundnut and beans farmers say their produce are due for harvest, but daily rains will not allow them approved.
I have farm products in my farm, but I can't go to that farm because if I go and carry them, the road is no good. I can't bring them home.
Those who manage to harvest are battling rains to dry their produce.
Rain spoil the whole road, you can't go. You see the granules lying down. 3 days today when they brought it. No, because of the rain, it was a very far place. Because of the rain, they couldn't. It's now getting spoiled. When you germinate, then you can't plant it again unless you use it for soup.
Their major worry is saving seeds for the next planting season. The farmers have appealed to government to make available and accessible certified seeds so they can catch up with climate change and improve on their yields. The farmers also want government to consider putting up dry facilities across districts as a solution to the problem. They are worried that Ghana stands the risk of food insecurity if serious attention is not given to agriculture.
All right, so that's it for business.